Joel Embiid and Wilt Chamberlain are honestly, the two best centers in Philadelphia's history in basketball. And on my last Wilt Chamberlain video, my first one actually, I drew a comparison between Embiid and Wilt because as a Philadelphia fan who started watching in 2013, of course, I've witnessed the entire career of Joel Embiid. And I've also watched just about all of the available, very limited available Wilt Chamberlain footage that is available. And I'm hoping, I'm praying that more and more becomes introduced as time goes on, and hardworking guys like the archivers and hopefully the league can put more footage out. I'm fairly certain that the NBA and Secaucus has a big library of footage that we've never seen before. And, you know, my question is why? Why not? You know, we should be working to get a streaming service for the NBA, like an NBA Plus or something. I don't know, where we could watch, you know, like I said, a fan who started watching in 2013, I want to just go back and watch like the 2004 playoffs or something, every single game, and watch before I go and make my comments on Twitter like all the fans do today, many of which were too young to have watched these games and are going off box score alone. And one thing I've learned in the last year or two of watching the NBA during the pandemic is how important the mental and the hard-working side of the sport is. It's not all about the box score, and we saw guys like Shaq who didn't have, you know, according to reports, according to the games played and his shape, didn't have the hardest working. Oh, and also according to a lot of your comments, he didn't even have the hardest working effort mentality in league history, and yet he's still arguably the most dominant in league history. You know, a lot of people make the case for him, and he's at least top 7 greatest of all time. I mean, Shaq was a monster, and this video is not even about Shaq. It's about Joel Embiid and Wilt Chamberlain. And I mentioned the mental side of the sport and the effort side of the sport. I think that these two, you know, as you see all of these identical plays, I think, you know, in the half court, I mean, Joel does so many things that look like Chamberlain, identical plays. But if I was to compare Joel Embiid to Wilt Chamberlain, most fans would, you know, not, especially Philadelphia fans or fans of Chamberlain, would really say like, what are you talking about? That is so disrespectful, yada yada yada, and say you can't compare this guy to somebody like Wilt Chamberlain. Although Joel Embiid, you know, off the numbers and off the way he looked, just had one of the best individual seasons in league history, right? So I think the differentiator between these two players, amongst anything, is their conditioning on the court. And I don't even know if it's their mental or their work ethic side, because look at Chamberlain. He didn't want to shoot free throws underhanded because he thought it would look stupid, although that was the best free throw shooting season he ever had. Chamberlain, we all know the legendary stories about him and the way he acted off the court. How would that impact him in an era with social media? Would he even have went into basketball? Like, you don't even know. That's where it becomes hard to compare. But basketball court, when I look at these two players, the thing that differentiates them is the fact that Chamberlain was arguably the best athlete in NBA history, if not the best athlete in NBA history. We all know the records. We all know the stories, most of which are confirmed. It's unbelievable. And this man went 48.5 minutes a game. And Joel Embiid has yet to be able to do that. He suffered many unfortunate injuries, including another devastating one this year when he finally got into his shape, you know, noticeably improved. And it was shocking to me as a Philly fan because we had the shortened offseason after the bubble, and the Sixers had a letdown playoff run in the bubble. They came back. Joel was in MVP shape. Harris was 50-40-90 for a stretch. Simmons looked, to me, the best he's ever looked. But we just had another letdown end of the season. So, you know, losing another round in the playoffs for the Sixers now is just like Chamberlain losing back in those days. And eventually he got over that hump, and we don't see it because we didn't watch every single game. We don't know what happened in every single game, every single affair. We know what happened in quite a few of them. But until Joel Embiid can, play a full season, play a full game in the playoffs without becoming a liability, and he was injured again, so it's sad. But it's at the end of the day, until he can do that and play that full, then I too am in the movement of I will never compare him to Wilt Chamberlain. Greatness first greatness. Thank you for hearing me out on this one, folks. It's been a long time. VP 102. 35 subs when I made that first one. Never thought 70,000 eyes would be on it. Gonna work to get more out here. Thank you for tuning in and listening. Hopefully the sound quality was a bit better. Have a great one, folks. Hope you enjoyed the holiday weekend. Yeah, and really quick, folks, this footage was put together by youtube.com/70sfan. I did no work, just talked over it. Go check him out if you're looking for more on the footage side of things for players like Chamberlain, Jerry West, all 70s and 60s talent. And also, I'd like to dedicate this video upload to the reason why I'm speaking behind a microphone right now. One of my heroes growing up, Sixers announcer Mark Zumoff, just retired. That man is one of, if not the greatest announcer of all time. So this video is dedicated to Mark Zumoff. Thank you for subscribing.